more show to come. I'm ready.
I'm still on hold. I'm going to get ready and take over the first topic.
High-level power. This is the live and local talk station. News Talk 614.
Radio Rampage, developed by TerryWilson.com. Develop your skills with Terry Wilson, photographer.
NEWSTALK614.com. Let's begin.
26 minutes after 8 o'clock. And if you want to be part of the program, like Dave from Powell, who's got his own radio show, but saw fit to call me and Dirk tonight here at NEWSTALK614.com. That's kind of exciting after all of this time.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to have to do the weather as soon as I get it up on my screen here. As you know, and I've said this before, I am known as Techno Boob, and that's because when it comes to technology, I sometimes screw it up, but what the hell? Okay. Listen, I got to talk about my friend Terry Wilson, because if you enjoy photography, my friends, maybe you're dreaming of expressing yourself by making great home movies. Well, if you found somebody who was willing to tailor a series of fun and easy lessons in photography just for you, how would you respond to that? I know you'd like it, especially if you happen to like photography. Now, just imagine you're developing your skills, better understanding of basic photography techniques are being taught to you, and people are starting to really notice that you do very good work. Wouldn't that be terrific? And you start getting asked to be a photographer at parties, at weddings, at bar mitzvahs, at barbecues, gatherings of all kinds. Would you like that? Just imagine. Terry Wilson, friend of mine, who I think you're going to be able to take advantage of, has been serious about the art of photography since the early 1960s, and he holds certification as an adult education instructor with the state of Ohio's Department of Education, and is also a certified forensic videographer. I want you to see the work he has done and see what kind of work he can help you do. Very simple process. All you do is go to terrywilson.com. That's it. Better photography, better videography, terrywilson.com. He can help you. Remember the address, terrywilson.com. All right, the weather for Greater Columbus and all of Central Ohio. There is a chance of showers and thunderstorms sometime between now and 11 o'clock. The rest of the night will be mostly cloudy with a low temperature at around 63 degrees. On Friday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly after 3 in the afternoon. Mostly cloudy, though, the rest of the day at around 77 degrees. Looking for a chance of showers or thunderstorms on Friday night, and that will be generally in the early evening. Mostly cloudy the rest of the night at around 57 degrees for Saturday. Not too bad. Chance of showers, thunderstorms, also possible after 9 in the morning, but mostly cloudy most of the day and near 82 degrees. Right now, 72 degrees in London. It is 74 degrees in Mount Vernon and 76 degrees in the short north from your weather station, NEWSTALK614.com. That's it. I'm done. Going back, right? Did Dave hang around or is he gone?
I'm here.
Oh, you're still there, Dave. I'll be a son of a gun.
I'm still here. I'm still hanging around. I got to give you airtime.
What? I'm sure you need the promotion. And where would you go to get promotion for your program, but right here at NEWSTALK614.com and the Steve Cannon Radio Rampage?
Well, that's right. What's wrong with sharing your wealth, right?
Absolutely. We believe in what is called local radio, although you deal with a nationwide audience from Cincinnati. you are still a local kid, and that's what we promote here at NEWSTALK614.com. Local radio that can go all over the world, right?
Well, that's exactly right. And the thing of it is, it just shows that you can start off from a small background and at the bottom of the totem pole and work your way on up. So that could be inspiration for anybody.
Yeah, you're kind of like the Abe Lincoln of talk radio, aren't you?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I've used the tag the retro kid, but, you know, because we're never over the hill. We know, right? But I'd say just a little retro. I mean, it's kind of like my buddy John Kay one time at the concert when he told everybody about he walks in front of a mirror and he stops and he looks and he says, "Who in the hell is that guy? I don't recognize him." But but he still feels young at heart. And, you know.
By the way, I got to tell you that John Kay and Steppenwolf are nominated for this year's induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, they are nominated for this thing?
They're nominated for this year. This is from Cleveland.com, if I'm not mistaken, that they are nominated this year to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That should be a no-brainer. That should be a no-brainer because, I mean, if they're not the number one biker band of all time, I don't know who would be. I mean, after all, that theme song that I've borrowed and stuff, with their permission, of course, Born to Be Wild, I mean, how could you ever be anything but a top-notch rock and roll band and biker band? And the boys still sound good. I'll tell you what, last time I saw them a couple years ago live and in person and talked to them after the show, I mean, they sound great. And the band they had the biggest turnout they ever had at the Roaring Shore, a big biker event up in Erie, PA. You're probably familiar with that part of the woods up there.
Absolutely, sure.
Yeah. They had their biggest crowd they've ever had when they played that night. And it was beautiful weather, about 80 degrees, and started rocking about 9 o'clock, played about 11:15. He plays all his top songs, and the fans were just going wild all night long. It was just a great show. So, and he's a great guy, and he's got a hell of a background. Anybody could probably look him up and see some of his YouTube videos and some of his interviews. He's a very conscientious guy, and he's done a lot of stuff with the foundation, I think, over in Africa to help preserve some of the wildlife and stuff like that. Him and his wife, I think.
Dave, I gotta ask a question, Dave. How did bikers feel about Soundgarden?
Well, you know, I'm not real familiar with their brand of music, and I haven't talked to the biker community, but I know that a lot of the biker babes, they were a top favorite, but I'm just not really into their music, although they were scheduled for Rock on the Range, and so I guess now they're going to do a big tribute that whole weekend, which is not this coming weekend, but the following weekend in Columbus.
Chris Cornell hung himself.
Is that what he did? I hope he didn't pick that up for. Well, you know, they knocked off my buddy David Carradine like that. He got hung and stuff, and then they tried to say he was into some crazy sex game thing or something like that. But
Chris Cornell try to? Didn't Chris try to kill himself like some years back? Do you recall that, Dave?
I think he tried to kill himself someday. I heard about that. I think it was sometime shortly after Kurt Cobain killed himself. I think he also tried to kill himself. Wow, amazing
I don't
stuff.
know what
The funny part about it is you don't think of grunge rockers being 52 years old, but he, in fact, was 52 years old. You know what I mean?
True.
You figure they'll be dead by 35. No, I'm kidding. But, you know, you just do not picture a grunge rocker at 52 years of age, and maybe that was the problem. Maybe we started to feel old.
Yeah, I don't know. I would suspect it have something to do with some of the wacky tobacco or some of the pills or some of the stuff that these guys partake in and stuff. I mean, nowadays that's led to the demise of a lot of people way before their time and stuff. So I'm not sure, because I know it's just been fresh off the presses, and nobody, I think, really knows a whole lot. But that's all news to me that he hung himself. I thought maybe he just had an overdose type episode, but that's crazy. I mean, the guy with all that fame and
the last story I saw out of Detroit, which is where it happened, they are saying, in fact, that he hung himself in his hotel room in Detroit, and he was due in at Rock on the Range on Friday, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're right.
He was supposed to do Columbus this weekend. Amazing.
I think Is it this weekend or next weekend, Dirk?
It might be
I think
this
it was this
weekend, or
weekend,
maybe
wasn't
is it Memorial Day weekend?
I was thinking it was
okay.
next weekend, but don't hold me to it because I haven't monitored it. I've been to the Rock and the Range a lot of different years and stuff, and it's always jam-packed, and I imagine I could probably go this year and get myself in because I've got all kinds of credentials. You guys know that. All I got to do is
let's ask the
and,
person that knows it all. Okay, Google, when is Rock on the Range, Columbus?
I think it's next weekend.
It is this weekend. You're right, Boom Boom. You're on it.
He was supposed to be
wow.
here this Friday. The group was going to be here this Friday. And Rock on the Range,
Wow.
really some. Oh, you know what I meant? Speaking of clubs, speaking of restaurants, speaking of hangouts for bikers and stuff, I got a question for you, Dave. You, I remember, used to hang out at Quaker Steak and Lube. Does that still exist?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
It
yeah,
does.
sure, absolutely. And in fact, if I hadn't been busy having to perform this little repair type thing and installation type thing on a big tower and stuff like that, I'd be over with the boys and girls over at Quaker Steak and Lube, just outside.
Dave, there's a Quaker Steak and Lube just down the outer belt there in Cincy too, isn't there?
Say that again?
Hilarious.
Isn't there a Quaker Steak down there in Cincy, right on the outer belt there?
I think there may be. I was in Delaware County.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's the one Dave used to hang out
one
at.
up at Polaris.
I remember it vividly.
Yeah, the Quaker Steak and Lubes are still
Just
pretty popular. A big bike night.
Yes.
For some reason, they kind of.
Let me tell you what, we got a phone call about our friend Dave from Powell. And he's now a big radio star in Cincinnati. But Dave from Powell was a regular caller on the program when we worked at that other radio station. And lo and behold, we talked about it a couple of days ago. And one of the perennial of all time, our friend DFP has called in tonight here on the Steve Cannon Nighttime Radio Rampage. I am thrilled beyond words that you're with us tonight, Dave. Thank you for that.
Well, thank you. And I'm going to have to run here in a little bit, but let everybody know that if you want to listen to the show tomorrow night, and that is the America's Trucking Network show, and that is heard on AM radio, 700 WLW. That's home of the Cincinnati Reds, home of the Cincinnati Bengals, home of Dirk's good buddy, the great American, Willie Cunningham. And, of course, now it's my little weekend deal, filling in and stuff for probably at least the next couple months, maybe a little bit longer, till further notice. But you never know. Sometimes you're on a short string. Sometimes you got a big leash, stuff like that. But you can hear me there on either Fridays and Saturdays or Saturdays and Sundays, and I'll be filling in some for vacation time. And then plus I'm also on 55 KRC, the big sister station. That's home of Rush Limbaugh, the big kahuna, and Sean Hannity, Dirk's good buddy, Mark Levin, Knucklehead, Glenn Beck, and stuff. So that's the sister station right there.
Knucklehead.
I think we've had enough of your self-promotion here, Dave. If it's okay with you, we do, after all, have a show to do. But I certainly appreciate you calling in tonight, and I wish you much success as the host of all of your radio programs. It's been cool, man. We haven't talked in a while, and I appreciate you calling in tonight. Thank you. Take care.
I'll send you a message.
All right.
I'll send you a message.
Be well.
Okay.
Drive safely.
Bye. Sayonara.
Oh, brother. That was the problem with Dave from Powell. You can never shut him up. I love it.
Maybe that's why he's a good talk show host now there on 55 KRC, riding the way with Dave and filling in on the American Truckers Network. Right now, tonight, coming up at WLW 700.
You have a break coming up here? Is that it?
Just wanted to get some more self-promotion in for Dave.
Tennis.
Needs the comfort and inspiration of religious faith, for it is faith which helps hold our families together, builds moral and spiritual character. And today, perhaps more than ever before, there's a need to turn to a way of life based on the enduring principles of religion. There are a great many programs of religious nature on NBC Radio, which you'll enjoy hearing this Sunday. Among them, The Art of Living, the National Radio Pulpit, Eternal Light, the Lutheran Hour, the Catholic Hour, and the Hour of Decision conducted by Billy Graham. These are but a few of the broadcasts that will bring you inspiration and comfort not only this Sunday, but on the Sundays to come. Of course, the Easter message will be the highlight event this week. We know you'll enjoy hearing them as a supplement to your visit to the church of your choice. And when you do go to church this Sunday, take the whole family with you.
You have got an incredibly powerful communications device at your fingertips, and it comes in a camera that makes high-definition images and video. Now, your camera is a wonder of this period in development of those kinds of devices. We take it for granted generally, and not too many years ago, you would have required equipment costing tens of thousands of dollars, plus an engineering degree and years of specialized on-the-job training. Well, Terry Wilson has broadcast experience, both radio and television, and has been serious about the art of photography since the early 1960s. He holds certification as an adult education instructor with the State of Ohio Department of Education and is also certified in forensic videography. If you want to learn how to fully take advantage of your device, I suggest Terry will make it easy for you. See his work and get his help at terrywilson.com.
Morning, afternoon, and night. It's all local. It's all live with open phones. We have been listening. News Talk 614. Weather. Return of live and local political talk and discussion. Streaming live and online at NewsTalk614.com. Live, local, and connected. Live open phones for Columbus 24/7 now. 727-3475.
Weather coming up in about 20 seconds, Steve.
HuntForTheTruth.com. The TeamTrump Radio Network. TTRN. Serving Ohio, high above the Levant Tower. This is the hard-hitting live and local talk station. News Talk 614. Boom, boom, is Buchanan.
Radio Rampage, developed by TerryWilson.com. Develop your skills with Terry Wilson, photographer.
NewsTalk614.com. Let's begin. News Talk 614. Weather.
Chance of showers or thunderstorms tonight, sometime before the 11 o'clock hour, then mostly cloudy the rest of the night with a low temperature at around 63 degrees. A chance of showers or thunderstorms mainly in the afternoon, mostly cloudy the rest of the day, and near 77 for Friday. For Friday night, there's a chance of showers and thunderstorms before 11 at night, and then a slight chance of showers later in the evening, mostly cloudy, with the low temperature reading at around 57 degrees. On Saturday, the chance of showers with thunderstorms also possible. That'll be after 9 in the morning. Then mostly cloudy the rest of the day and getting up to 82 degrees, with Saturday night calling for showers and thunderstorms pretty much after midnight. Cloudy the rest of the time and getting down to 67 degrees. Right now, it is 72 degrees in Hilliard, 74 degrees in where? How about Reynoldsburg?
Reynoldsburg sounds good. The tomato capital of the world.
The tomato capital of the world from NewsTalk614.com.
A lot of people don't know Reynoldsburg is the tomato capital of the world. A lot of people think it's Mexico or California, but it's Reynoldsburg, Ohio.
Absolutely. One of the great events in Central Ohio, my friends, is the annual Reynoldsburg Tomato Festival. You must go to this. You must go to this. Yeah, rather than going to Naples, Italy for the Hangouts Festival, you want to go to the Tomato Festival in Reynoldsburg, for crying out loud. Hangouts mean gourd in Italian, for those who may not know. And if I screwed it up and you're Italian, don't hit me. Just call and say, Steve, you were wrong, okay? Gee whiz. Can't take any chances.
You must love the Italian people. I think you mentioned the Italians at least once or twice every week. In fact, I want to go get some pizza tonight.
I love Italians. I mean, I love Italian food. I'm really big on that kind of thing. To tell you the truth, I don't, there's a guy locally, a brand new pizzeria opened up near where I live. And this pizzeria has a margarita pizza that has big, huge slices of tomato on the pizza that are delicious. And this is also, what funny part about it is, pizzerias, many times, your chains, for instance, seem to not be able to get it absolutely 100% correct. This guy, local guy, makes his own pizza, makes his own dough, the whole schmear. But even when the pizza is cold 2 hours later, the crust is still crisp. I mean, that's good pizza in no uncertain terms. One of the stories that we have been discussing over the past few days, and I want to get back into it again because, very honestly, more information has been coming out on that tragedy in Licking County, the death of 3 people, including the chief of police in Kirkersville. And now what seems to be happening is the Licking County Municipal Court Adult Probation Department has released a timeline of events leading up to the early release of Thomas Hartless. He's the guy who they found dead in the nursing home after he killed his estranged girlfriend, one of her nurse's aides, and the chief of police of Kirkersville to boot. In the report, the department has detailed from the first complaint against Hartless to the fatal shooting that happened last week. Authorities said that Hartless killed Kirkersville Police Chief Stephen Eric Desario before entering the Pike Kirk Care Center and killing Marlena Medrano, his ex-girlfriend, and one of her working associates, Cindy Krantz, who was the girlfriend of a dear friend of mine's nephew. Hartless then, of course, took his own life. Now, the murders were the culmination of months of abuse against Ms. Medrano, whom Hartless was in a relationship with. The purpose of the timeline was to determine what processes and procedures were in fact missed or need to be changed. It's a little short, but in reality, we all and Licking County needed to know. The probation department has released the timeline. Now, let's go over the timeline again. And you have to be, I apologize for what I'm about to say, but you really have to be a knucklehead to not look at this guy's record and not know that there was the potential for tragedy. You ready? December 16, Hartless committed domestic violence against Marlena Medrano. December 19, 2016, a warrant issued for Hartless for domestic violence. January 6th of this year, Hartless pled not guilty to domestic violence, and Judge Stansbury released him on his own recognizance, on a bond of his own recognizance. Hartless was ordered then to have no contact with Medrano and take all the medications as they had been prescribed. Moving along, January 14 this year, Hartless committed domestic violence against Medrano. Hartless arrested in connection with the second incident. As a result, Hartless was in violation of the bond condition with the first domestic violence count against him. January 17, Hartless appeared for his initial arraignment regarding the second domestic violence incident. He pleads not guilty again. Judge Stansbury again, this time setting a $5,000 bond. Hartless is ordered no alcohol or drug usage and a second no contact order with Melina Medrano. A civil protection order was granted to Ms. Medrano against Hartless. There was a notice about firearms and other deadly weapons included in the order of protection. And I said that a week ago. A piece of paper can't stop bullets. I think the proof positive was the story as it indeed unfolded over a week ago. January 26, prior to the second stage protection order hearing, Ms. Medrano made an oral motion to dismiss the petition, which baffles me. Judge Frost terminated the protection order issued on January 17. Now, in March, Hartless committed domestic violence and criminal damaging against Medrano. After the third incident, Hartless was in violation of the bond conditions regarding the two incidents. Now, a warrant issued in March 7 of 17, issued for Hartless for domestic violence and criminal damaging. A civil protection order was granted to Medrano against Hartless. There was a notice about firearms and other deadly weapons included in that protection order as well. Medrano submitted a handwritten letter to the court. The letter was file stamped on March 23rd of 17. And here's what she stated in the letter. I never intended Tom to be jailed for his actions. She also states, I am most confident we can and will over our struggles and relieve stress between us. She further stated, first and foremost, I want the court to know that I have always intended to work with and help Tom with his anger issues and accompany him through his transition. She must have been some woman. When you read this paperwork, at first I thought she was making big mistakes, was not being realistic. But based on that letter to the court, she must have been some woman. Hartless was sentenced by Judge Higgins on all charges relating to the 3 domestic violence cases. All jail sentences were ordered to be run concurrently. 180 days were imposed, 90 days were suspended. Huh? And Hartless was ordered to be under probation supervision for 2 years after he served 90 days in jail. That's it. Judge also ordered for Hartless to attend the Woodland Batterers Club. Well, you know the rest of the story. And it bothers me to this day that the courts did not, despite Ms. Medrano's statements to the court, I'm surprised that the court did not take stronger measures to keep Thomas Hartless incarcerated. Because, in fact, he did have a violent personality. Now, if he were in jail over a longer period of time, more than 90 days, he could have been able to garner psychiatric help from Licking County. I can guarantee you. Many prisons will do that. Didn't turn out that way. Amazing. Well, anyway, if anyone has a thought on, did the courts make mistakes? Were they being too liberal? Did not this guy have all the signs of being a serial batterer? And couldn't a court have seen that in his behavior? Wow. Amazing stuff. And if you've got a thought on this particular case, 1-805-727-3475. I always enjoy hearing your feelings and opinions on these issues and would love to get your input. How are you feeling about the way the courts in Licking County handled this? Jerry Brown, look at this. Jerry Brown called California taxpayers freeloaders, has now set a new budget which includes tens of millions of dollars to help protect illegals from being deported.
What?
No, really. Jerry Brown, the governor, our governor, what do they call him? Governor Skylight or Starlight, whatever the hell they call him. He called California taxpayers freeloaders. Now he is devoting tens of millions of taxpayer dollars to help protect illegals from being deported.
Oh, my gosh.
Jerry Brown, I guess, likes criminals in his state because the protection was being offered by ICE. Round people up, find out who the criminals are, deport them, and let's deal with the other people in another fashion.
How much money?
I believe the figure is in the tens of millions.
Well, you know, Eric Holder was hired by somebody out there to help illegals that get rounded up and gang members by ICE. Eric Holder's running, I don't know if it's a state office or a NGO organization, but Eric Holder lives out there now helping people that get caught up in these drug raids that get sent back.
So Eric Holder wants to help people who are swept up in drug raids and help them find legal representation to what? Stay in the country?
To stay in the country. I wonder if this California money the governor just approved is actually going to be going to a group like Eric Holder's group. That's crazy.
Unbelievable. If you are involved. Now, there are many people who believe that there are low-level drug crimes that are committed that should be overlooked. I am not necessarily of that opinion, but it's a good thought when you stop and think about it. On the flip side of the coin, though, to take a blanket look at people who are involved in drug crimes or drug sweeps and trying to get appropriate defense for them so they can stay in the country.
Wow.
There are people who cannot be fixed, for lack of a better term. And the only way you can fix them is to remove. Never mind. I don't want to talk about it. No, I don't want to get into that. Forget about it. I'm not that nasty. I'm a gentleman. I've always said that I am a gentleman, although I have strong feelings on various issues.
Yes.
But that's really Jerry Brown. God love him.
I am not a gentleman, and that's why we have the Hunt for the Truth instead of Glenn Beck at 10:10 a.m. so people in Columbus can listen to a rude guy that doesn't like Glenn Beck and is local in Columbus. That's me.
Well, I'm not a huge fan of Glenn Beck either.
You know, he's been very strange the last 2 years, and now he's agreeing. Yesterday or today, he was agreeing with the special prosecutor, and he agreed that Donald Trump should be impeached if he did give the safety information to Russia about the ISIS bombers in their planes.
So we should protect ourselves and not help Russia understand what their threat may be. Right?
You know, our new afternoon guy, Vinny on the red line, he kind of got it all down to one thing. He said that the bottom line is if Trump didn't do what the Democrats are saying he should be impeached from, and that's tell Russia about the new devices ISIS can bomb passenger jets with. The bottom line is, if Trump didn't tell them that, the Democrats wouldn't be impeaching him, but there'd be dead Russians. So the left wants to kill Russians.
Ah. All right. So the Democrats want to kill Russians. Is that it?
Yes, that's the bottom line. If Trump had done what they say he should have done and not told Russia about this ISIS threat, there's a bigger chance that Russian planes will be falling out of the sky. So the bottom line is they want to see dead Russians. Does that make
One
sense?
of the things that kind of intrigued me was, yes, that's exactly what you're saying. But one of the things that kind of intrigued me was that how it seems the people who are still objecting to the fact that Hillary Clinton is not the president of the United States are people who want life and not problematic. They want to be, even if we are not told the entire, feel comfortable. Donald Trump, I think, wants us to be protected and defended.
Yep.
To not tell the truth as far as the threats to our free society.
If you remember, Steve, about 2 months ago, they said there was going to be some travel restrictions on international European flights to and from the Middle East, and smartphones would have to go in the cargo. Remember that?
I remember that, yeah.
Well, when my wife and I were on our naval exercises in the Caribbean 3 weeks ago and we're flying back, we have the TSA pass so we can get through security quicker. Going through there, I set off a beep, and the TSA agent said, "Do you have a cell phone?" And I thought he meant, "Did I have it in my pocket?" And it would set the machine off. And I said, "No." He goes, "You don't own a phone?" I go, "Well, it's in my bag going through the scanner." He goes, "Oh, well, you've been randomly selected. We have to test it for explosives." So I sat down, and they put the cotton swabs over my phone, and it was fine. And they said, "Go ahead." And I said, "When did you start doing that?" He said, "A few weeks ago. We have a random number, and the bell goes off on the entry gate that you set off whenever it's time to swipe a phone."
Okay. They wanted to inspect my shorts for explosives.
Oh, boy. Da-dum-dum.
No, really, they did. I told them, no, I just had a meatball sandwich. It's okay. But anyway, I'm sorry about that. Oh, as I was saying, or started to say, there was one of our Facebook friends who intimated that he believed that the incident at Times Square was terrorist related. Richard Rojas, 26 years old. Actually, I found out, I went even farther into my investigation, and I discovered he's a Navy veteran. He has been a drinker. He had 2 other drunk driving convictions on his record. And what he basically wanted was to create an environment where he could commit suicide by cop. That's what the New York PD is. NYPD is now saying that's really what it was all about. That tragedy that took the life of one visitor to New York City and injured dozens of others. He wanted to commit suicide. It's called suicide by cop. And what bothered me, and I've talked about it on Facebook today, what bothers me about that is most cops rarely use their weapon. And if they use their weapon once in an entire career, it would be a miracle in most parts of the country. Now, to suddenly back a police officer who wants to protect and serve into a corner so that he will shoot this guy so this guy can commit suicide because he doesn't have the guts to do it himself and injure people in the process, that gets to me, annoys me. The whole suicide by cop nonsense is starting to get to me. I just wish that people who are close to people with mental problems will, in fact, start doing something about these individuals' mental problems so that it doesn't have to come to that kind of situation.
Isn't that an act of terrorism, though, Steve, when you mow down more than a dozen people in Times Square because you want to have the cops come and then shoot you? That's still terrorism, isn't it?
Well, it creates terror, absolutely, but it is not by definition terrorism, you see.
What is the definition of terrorism? Does it just have to be by an Islamic guy? That's what I'm getting confused
No,
about.
terrorism. No, Dirk. Let me educate you. I'm a little older than you. I'm a little older than
the
you
media
are.
only calls it terrorism if it can be traced to a Muslim guy, it seems like.
No, that's not true. There are people who believe that. There are people who say it's only terror if it's done by a Muslim guy. Well, what about the guy who blew up the Oklahoma office building, the federal office building? I mean, he isn't from a Muslim country. For crying out. No, let me tell you what it's all about, basically. A terrorist is an individual who commits an act of terror with a political agenda. That's a terrorist.
Oh, hey, we got a caller on the line. I believe it's our very own Vince from the Red Line, Steve.
Vince from the Red Line, you son of a gun. Welcome to NEWSTALK614.com.
Thank you, Steve. Steve, it is an honor to be affiliated with the same station that you're working for. I want to tell you that. I'm excited to be at News Talk 614. You are an icon. You've been known especially in Columbus, Ohio for a very long time. I remember listening to your show 30 years ago as a kid. In fact, my dad would listen to your show in the car sometimes, and he'd turn it on, and I would hear it. And I would tune in whenever you were on. And I mean, just wanted to let you know, I'm just honored to be affiliated with you.
Vinny,
I love your new talk show, and I'm glad you're still doing it after all these years.
Hey, Vinny, do me a favor. Don't ever say to me, my grandfather used to love your show because I'll break your knees. I love when they do it.
No, it was actually my stepdad, but
okay.
Yeah, and I mean,
what you could do is you could say, just a few years back, Steve, when I was a baby talk show listener, I used to listen to you on that station and really enjoyed you. But that way you're not, dating yourself or.
Yeah, I like that. And he said his father. He didn't say his grandfather. But I was just warning. A guy named Vinny has to understand what a warning is. You know what I mean, Vinny?
You know what? You've always had a great radio voice, and you still do. I mean, it's just impressive.
He's doing it again. You're
still on top radio after all these years,
and I still do. Absolutely.
Even though you're 1 million years old, your voice is not too bad.
Oh, good
Lord.
Lord.
Our brand new host from the Red Line, you're getting off to a good start, Vinny.
Yeah. I'm gonna draw a red line on the studio floor. He can't cross that line. Now, you're sounding great, Vinny, by the way. Welcome to the club. It's good to have you with us.
Well, and I mean, I think what's nice is we're all bringing something different to the show. And I mean, you've got special guests coming in, and I'm not at that point yet, and I hope I get at that point. I hope I get half as good as you are. If I get half as good as you are, I'll tell you what, I'm going to knock them dead.
I think, I've got a great idea for you. After the story I just read on this radio station, my friend, I think what you should do is try to get a hold of Jerry Brown's psychiatrist. That's what you want to do. Find out who Jerry Brown's psychiatrist is and get him on your show. No? I think.
You know what's funny? And I have to say this real quick. InfoWars actually let me post on their page today. They sent me a thing saying they accepted my post, and normally I never get a request back on a post. So I was shocked that they accepted my post.
Alex Jones let you post on Prison Planet InfoWars?
Alex Jones let me post on Infowars.com.
Steve, I'm not sure if that's something to be celebrated. What do you think about Alex Jones, Steve?
I am not really a fan, and I'm not sure that I would like to be associated. But if anything, he's willing to lower himself to that level, then more power to him. God bless you. You should be well.
Anyway, I'm not going to take up a bunch of your time, Steve, but I wanted to pay my respects, and I hope you keep going for another 20 or 30 years. It's great to hear you, and I'm great to be I'm happy to be a part of the team.
Great. Molto bene. Grazie, Vincenzo. Thank you very much. That's our boy Vinny, the Red Line of the afternoon, happening right here on NewsTalk614.com. Thank you, Vinny. Very kind words. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You have a great evening.
You too, my friend. It's a little Italian there. I speak a little Italian. A guy named Vinny. I mean, listen, Vincent is not necessarily an Italian name. It could be other countries as well, right? Am I correct? Okay, but we all come from some degree of ethnicity.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, I'm half Polish and half Russian, and I keep fantasizing that I might be the abducted son of a Russian gypsy prince. And in fact, I can do psychic phenomena on this radio program.
Sounds like that could be another edition of Shrek or a Disney animated movie.
That's another show. That's another time, another place, another location. I have not gotten recently any indication from any of our Facebook friends that we should resurrect Desperate and Dateless on Friday nights, and I would like to get some input. Anybody listening tonight? I was in the North
Market last week and ran into somebody that knew you were on NEWSTALK 614. Now I'd actually listened for a couple nights.
Right.
He asked, is Steve going to do Desperate and Dateless? So there's one request right there.
Ow! I love it. Hey, listen, I'm running out of time. It has been a great night. Thank you all for listening. Dave, great guy. Thanks for being part of the program tonight. Dirk, thanks for the help. Vinny, thank you so much for the kind words. And for all of you who listen tonight, we'll do it again tomorrow night, 7:10 to 9:10, right here on NewsTalk614.com. Have yourself a great night tonight and a better day tomorrow. But if you can do something tonight to make tomorrow a better day, you'll be better off for it, I promise. You guys have happy trails.
Are you ready? Can we do it now?
I'm on three. 1,
Oh, okay.
2, 3.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds when we're together? Just sing a song and bring us sunny weather. So happy trails to you till we meet again.
Tonight, The Answer, 98.9.
Right.
Go see Chuck Douglas. You'll love it. Local radio. Chuck Gillespie, thank you so much. Keep us posted on where you're going to be working in Florida, because I know there will be people either moving there or visiting there. And I'm sure if they're from Ohio, and even not from Ohio, who listen tonight, they're going to want to
find an ashtray for my V26.com e-cigarette. In fact, if you were like myself and tried the patch, tried the pill, the psycho medication, and hypnotism all at the same time like I did, and you still couldn't stop, these e-cigs, which look exactly like an analog cigarette, for you dummies, that means it looks just like a cigarette. These are the best. V26.com. If you buy an e-cig, Dan, at a gas station, you're buying an e-cig from a place that sells gasoline. Those are horrible ripoffs. With the V26.com, you get the tanks, you get the refills, and the thing that is the best and finally made me dive into e-cigs is the pull and the hit on this water vapor exactly mimics like a drag on a Marlboro or a Camel Menthol or a Cool.
My goodness. I wouldn't know.
It's V26.com. You can still get starter kits for Christmas. Give it to that loved one that's tried over and over. Give it a shot. They got 10% off on the starter kits. And Dan, today and today only, if they put in DIRK in the promo box at V26.com, they'll get an additional 10% off their order.
Wow, 30% off your order. Man, you can't beat that.
That's V26.com.
V26.
It's the Dano Show every morning, Monday through Friday, 6:10 until 10:10 on NEWSTALK614.com. You see what we're doing there, Dano?
I know what we're doing. We're tuning these guys up for some fun, man. This is going to be good. Man, it isn't that it isn't that you want to wish ill to anyone.
You have got an incredibly powerful communications device at your fingertips, and it comes in a camera that makes high-definition images and video. Now, your camera is a wonder of this period in development of those kinds of devices. We take it for granted generally, and not too many years ago, you would have required equipment costing tens of thousands of dollars, plus an engineering degree and years of specialized on-the-job training. Well, Terry Wilson has broadcast experience, both radio and television, and has been serious about the art of photography since the early 1960s. He holds certification as an adult education instructor with the State of Ohio Department of Education, and is also certified in forensic videography. If you want to learn how to fully take advantage of I have to do the weather as soon as I get it up. I suggest Terry will make it easy for you. See his work and get his help at terrywilson.com.
Millions in Europe and Asia are going hungry and facing actual starvation. Therefore, it's up to us, the best-fed nation in the world, to tighten our belts. We can share a meal and save a life. And here's how. Buy only as much bread and other wheat products as you really need.
Your skills with Terry Wilson, photographer.
Don't waste any food. Learn to use fats and oils at the food store promptly. Plant a garden, raise it.
26 minutes after 8 o'clock. And if you want to be part of the program, like Dave from Powell, who's got his own radio show, but saw fit to call me and Dirk tonight here at NEWSTALK614.com. That's kind of exciting after all of this time.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to have to do the weather as soon as I get it up on my screen here. As you know, and I've said this before, I am known as Techno Boob, and that's because when it comes to technology, I sometimes screw it up, but what the hell? Okay. Listen, I got to talk about my friend Terry Wilson, because if you enjoy photography, my friends, maybe you're dreaming of expressing yourself by making great home movies. Well, if you found somebody who was willing to tailor a series of fun and easy lessons in photography just for you, how would you respond to that? I know you'd like it, especially if you happen to like photography. Now, just imagine you're developing your skills, better understanding of basic photography techniques are being taught to you, and people are starting to really notice that you do very good work. Wouldn't that be terrific? And you start getting asked to be a photographer at parties, at weddings, at bar mitzvahs, at barbecues, gatherings of all kinds. Would you like that? Just imagine. Terry Wilson, friend of mine, who I think you're going to be able to take advantage of, has been serious about the art of photography since the early 1960s, and he holds certification as an adult education instructor with the State of Ohio's Department of Education, and is also a certified forensic videographer. I want you to see the work he has done and see what kind of work he can help you do. Very simple process. All you do is go to terrywilson.com. That's it. Better photography, better videography, terrywilson.com. He can help you. Remember the address, terrywilson.com. All right, the weather for Greater Columbus and all of Central Ohio. There is a chance of showers and thunderstorms sometime between now and 11 o'clock. The rest of the night will be mostly cloudy with a low temperature at around 63 degrees. On Friday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly after 3 in the afternoon. Mostly cloudy, though, the rest of the day at around 77 degrees. Looking for a chance of showers or thunderstorms on Friday night, and that will be generally in the early evening. Mostly cloudy the rest of the night at around 57 degrees for Saturday. Not too bad. Chance of showers, thunderstorms, also possible after 9 in the morning, but mostly cloudy most of the day and near 82 degrees. Right now, 72 degrees in London It is 74 degrees in Mount Vernon and 76 degrees in the short north from your weather station, NEWSTALK614.com. That's it.
Guys ready?
I'm done. Going back, right?
Here we go. Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America. Border to border and coast to coast and all ships at sea, long tribe brothers and sisters standing to watch far and near. Welcome to the Dano Show. NewsTalk614.com. I am Dan Myers from the TeamTrump Radio Broadcasting. All right, we're back. That was, of course, as always, I am live. Hey, real quick, I was Mobile Studios right next door to the Ohio State University's dip into that Don Scott Field. We got some important things there. I know some of you may be confused of what's going to happen here, so let me get us a learning aid.
In case you're in the wrong show, by mistake, be on Motorhead.
No, it's the Dano Show, man. How many times I got at night at 7:10 p.m.
There, oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The danger is near. It's the Dano Show. Mornings on News Talk 614. Here's Dano.
All right. Good morning, everyone. It is time. Guys ready? Here we go. Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America. From border to border and coast to coast and all ships at sea, long tribe brothers and sisters standing to watch far and near. Welcome to the Dano Show. NewsTalk614.com. I am Dan Myers from the TeamTrump Radio Broadcasting Network. Of course, as always, I am live at the Flippin' Rigs Mobile Studios right next door to the Ohio State University's Don Scott Field. I know some of you may be confused of what's going to happen here, so let me get us a learning aid.
In case you're in the wrong show, by mistake, be on Motorhead.
No, it's the Dano Show, man. How many times I got to tell you that? Let me.
And we are going to clean your clock.
Yes, we are. We're going to clean your clock. That's what we do here each and every morning. So I'm not your terrestrial station down the street that has all the garbage and stuff. Real stuff here. No joke. No play. No, nothing. So, of course, as always, you can call us here at 805-727-3475. You can call me on my Facebook Messenger or Google Hangouts, which is the easiest to use next to Facebook Messenger, because what you have to use is NEWSTALK614 at gmail.com. Now, of course, as always, the Spring Share-a-thon is on. It's easy. Share us. You like what you hear? You like to see what we're doing? Go ahead and just share it. Share it with your friends. As a matter of fact, don't miss a single live broadcast with us here by liking our page at newstalk614.com. When you like it, go to the center where it tells you to get your notifications. Left click on that Wi-Fi symbol. It kind of tilts to the right a little bit. And then what you do is when you click on that, it's going to drop down, and it's going to say notifications. But if you go to the right side, it's going to say get first notifications. That's the one you want to click on. That's the most important one, because it doesn't matter if when I come on, when Dirk Thompson comes on at 10:10. Of course, I think I was pretty close to 6:10 this morning. Dirk comes on at 10:10. And then the Radio Rampage comes on at night at 7:10 p.m. You're on News Talk 614. Don't forget, this coming Sunday night, I'm going to have a time here sooner than later. May the 21st, we will be the only radio station in Central Ohio to have Judge Andrew Napolitano on Sunday nights. So set your clocks when we get the time, but clear that part of your evening away. It's just an hour. After all, it's the Judge Napolitano. Now, along with our share-a-thon, we do have the ability for you to go ahead and advertise with us for less than what it takes for two of you to go to the Olive Garden and eat dinner. So if you run a business, it doesn't matter to me where it's at. I'll always go ahead and help you out. I'm happy to do that on my show because we have great people that support local businesses. So it's only $25 for the month. That's our half-off special. That is during the Spring Share-a-thon. So you will get 1 month of commercials for only $25. And you get 50 30-second commercials. Of course, we'll have mentions that are tucked in there. So 50. Pretty good. Can't beat that. And if you want additional details, don't hesitate to send us an email at newstalk614 at gmail.com. So let's get here and get some house cleaning done. Weather, it's humid. Yes, I kicked the AC on. Sorry. Well, man, I was really unhappy, but it is what it is. Got 66% humidity this morning. Temperature 71 degrees. Winds out of the south at 8 knots for the pilots, 9 miles an hour for you civilians. We're going to have a high at 85 today. Chance of rain is going to be 40%. We will have a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms this morning, then a chance this afternoon. Highs will be in the mid-80s. Of course, it's 85. Southwest winds will come in at 15 to 20 mile an hour. This is the day that they will gust up to 30 miles an hour. This gives us a 40% chance of rain. An eye to the sky if you see anything. If you're a trained weather spotter like Anna and myself, we do an eye out. We have the numbers to dial. You can dial 911 if you need to. If you by chance are fellow weather spotter, you know exactly what to do. Low of 62 tonight. Winds will keep moving. Chance of rain is going to be about 40%. Friday, we're going to have a high of 75. Winds will move 5 to 10 miles an hour. And then Friday night, we're going to have a 20% chance of rain. Low 58. So it's going to stay pretty. We're going to have a great chance of rain all weekend. all the way up in the next Monday, and it looks like after Monday next week we're probably going to go back to about 30 to 50% chance of rain. So hopefully this doesn't affect the farmers in their efforts to plant. Haven't really. They looked pretty good last time I looked when I was out in God's country not too long ago, and it looks like they were pretty good. No one started to complain yet, so hopefully we get the right mixture of rain and it doesn't affect our farmers. That's important to you and I. It's important to food prices. So it definitely is. Last night in hockey, the Senators came out and blasted the Senators came out and blasted Pens 5-1. I think it was like 4-1 at the end of the first period, and they never let go. Cindy Crosby scored the Pens' lone goal, and I was watching the penalties and stuff last night. I'm just absolutely amazed that after a face-off in front of the ref, he slashes the Ottawa Senators player from behind the legs and looks at the ref like, what you gonna do about it? I hope they lose. Tired of this. Play with some integrity, not integrity. Sending our kids the wrong message. Don't like it. I don't care how many kids a player puts to any kind of a hockey camp or how many people that they sponsor to go do this or they go to do that. Your actions on the ice just speak volumes. And I know Crosby doesn't care what I say. He doesn't care at all. But I, as a parent, a grandparent, don't like it. It's not cool. It's not good. It doesn't help the sport. Like watching some of the low blows and stuff that we see in the NBA now. Some of this trash talk garbage. Next, can't go there. At any rate, we're done with Cindy Crosby. There's a lot going on in the news this morning. We have a guest. It's 45. We will have Ron Daigle on, one of Chris Saucier's pardon attorneys. He and his lovely wife, and one of the brothers who pulled Saddam Hussein out of his spider hole, went to Coast Guard graduation yesterday. They had the signs and videos and everything. We'll go ahead and put them up here a little bit later on. I think it was Ron's wife went ahead and put those up there. So I always look forward to having Ron on. Ron's always an excellent time. It looks like they had a little bit of contentiousness, as there were reports that some physical stuff had taken place. So seems like it worked out pretty well. We're going to go back to hockey here a little bit. And the other part in the hockey, and it's kind of a contact sport. There's tonight, puck drops at 8 between the Ducks and the Predators. In Nashville, with Ryan Johansson and PK Subban, Nashville leads that series 2-1. So I think the Ducks are a little tired. And the commentators last night during the Penn Senators game were remarking how the Pens seem a little bit tired. So it takes a lot to produce a championship. Anything in life that you want to do that's worthwhile, it takes a lot of effort. You're going to be tired. You have to be able to go ahead and pick up and dust off to be able to go ahead and to win what you're looking for, to obtain that goal at the end out of all things that you're looking to do. Sometimes that has to happen. Sometimes you have to get tired, but you also have to figure it out and to be able to get things going. So good morning to everyone out there in the chat box. Appreciate you. And see. I can see it all. I see you all out there. Don't hesitate. Comments, love comments. All in. Ron doesn't come on until 6:45. you have plenty of time to give us a call. Don't hesitate to do it. Give us a call. We're more than happy to go ahead and take a few minutes to speak with you. We're not like the kids down the street at the terrestrial station. You get your 45 seconds and they shoot you off after you. So there's a lot going on, as I indicated. A few things I want to hit straight off of it. In East Liverpool, Ohio, there was a police officer by the name of Chris Green who came in contact with fentanyl after he assisted in the arrest of 2 suspects after a traffic stop. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to play this this interview. He suffered an overdose. And it looks like he doesn't know how any of the powder got on his sweatshirt. And in the pictures I can see here, it looked like the fentanyl was just laying on the floor. It looked like maybe like a carpet stuff that you put down every once a week when you go to sweep. And he doesn't know, somehow it ended up on his sweatshirt, then on his fingertips, and that's all it took. He said, I fell backwards, trying to hold on to anything I can grasp. Fortunately, the EMTs were on station were there at the police station, and it only took a dose, and they, it ended up taking him a total of 4 doses of Narcan, bring him back from that. So this is nothing to joke about. This is nothing to screw with. I received a report yesterday, people from Dayton driving to the Fremont, Ohio area just to score more. Yeah, you heard it. People are driving, gang members are driving from Dayton, Ohio to Fremont, Ohio to buy drugs. Now, hopefully the Montgomery County Sheriff down there will keep it tight. But these smaller communities, such as in Fremont, they need a real... We need to have this all under control and get it taken care of, because while we have all this other garbage going on about Russia that's going to end up being proven false in the end, this is a problem. We have some morgues. It was documented recently. Summit County had to go ahead and tap in through the state of Ohio Homeland Security, be able to go ahead and have a temporary morgue trailers come out. There's some folks that are having to use borrow storage from local funeral homes to hold bodies. I'm not talking 1 or 2. I'm talking some coroners and some funeral homes that are holding anywhere from 10 to 15 bodies at one time. And that's in addition to what they have on station at the coroner's facility. This is no game. No game at all. Let's go ahead and play this interview. I got another one I want to play. We have Ron coming up in a little bit.
1977 Ford F-Series starts its epic run as the best-selling trucks in America. 2017 F-Series is still king. How? Durability, technology, and capability. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 40 straight years.
The opioid crisis is not only dangerous for those addicted to the drugs, but also for first responders. We told you yesterday about an Ohio police officer who survived an accidental overdose from street fentanyl after a drug bust. The DEA says it is 40 to 50 times more powerful than street heroin. Jim Axelrod spoke with that officer, and he's in East Liverpool, Ohio, where this all happened. Jim, good morning.
Good morning. Officer Chris Green of the East Liverpool Police Department came in contact with fentanyl while helping to arrest a couple of drug suspects during a traffic stop. Anyone who wants to know just how powerful and deadly fentanyl is should hear his story. right about here start to feel a little funny?
Yeah. As I walked through the door, I was almost pulled back by an alert colleague, another officer. What's this white powder? And that's when I reached back. I accidentally came in contact.
You're standing roughly right here?
Yeah.
Just a few hours earlier, Officer Chris Green was helping arrest two men on alleged drug charges who were in this car. You can see the white powder on the floor. Officer Green doesn't know how some of that powder got on his sweatshirt. When it ended up on his fingertips, that's all it took.
I fall backwards, and I'm trying to hold on to anything I can grasp.
Luckily, EMTs were already at the police station. Officer Green was given one dose of the opioid antidote naloxone and then rushed to the hospital where he received 3 more doses. So a total of 4 doses of Narcan.
Yes, for simply touching that and or inhaling.
Am I being a little over dramatic here to say you could have died?
I don't think so.
Chris's fiancée, Stacy Birch, knows he has a dangerous job, but worried more about bullets than drugs. Did you ever think he'd encounter something like this?
Absolutely not. My worst fear is, like, getting shot.
But fentanyl, especially in powder form, is so dangerous and now spreading across the country so fast.
Fentanyl now is being sold.
That the DEA made a video warning police and emergency responders of the risks.
As long as this stuff is on the street, our men and women, our first responders, are going to be bumping into it, and it's extraordinarily dangerous for them.
When you hear about these stories, you think, that's only on TV. It's not going to happen to me. That's not going to happen to me. This drug doesn't care who it kills.
No conscience.
No conscience.
Officer Green says the suspects admitted to him that the white powder was fentanyl. Now, this happened on a Friday. Officer Green was scheduled to be off Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, back to work Tuesday. So, Gail, this harrowing story, and Officer Green didn't miss a single day of work.
Wow, go Officer Green, but another layer to the opioid crisis. Thank you very much, Jim. Ahead and
Now, if you folks are wondering, East Liverpool, Ohio, is right there in a tri-state on the eastern portion of our state, in the middle of the state there. It's right there on the tri-state area of West Virginia, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. No joke. I've been telling you. I don't know what more we have to say, what more we have to do, how many bodies we have to produce. Part of how we fix this is with immigration enforcement. That's how you fix that. This is important. People think the wall is just because, Hispanics are disliked. That's far from the truth. Not even remotely close. For country laws, we have to follow those. If we enforce the immigration laws, which I'm being told is all that they're doing in the field right now, by simply enforcing the laws that are currently on the book, on our books, I should say, not the book, it allows us to get rid of folks. It allows us to have things under control. So it's important that we go ahead and that we have this, and that we have this all under control. Go ahead, squeeze a break in here real quick. Go ahead and take a look. And be right back in a few minutes. The show here at NEWSTALK614.com on the Team Trump Radio Network. All right, we're back. That was a nice there. Hey, real quick, I was looking at some local stuff. I know there's a lot going on nationally. We're gonna dip into that here in a little bit. We got some important things there. Looking at some stuff, and I have some very, very serious questions about the shooting that happened in Kirkersville. I'm rolling through the AP feed this morning, and post-mortem for the shooter, they went ahead and they did a search of his house. And the shooter, I'm not going to use his name, it's going to give him credence in some way, shape, or form, and I don't really know about the family, and that's the least of my concerns. But you know what? This was needless. Because in the end, they found 60 guns at his home. For those of you who are unfamiliar with our rules here in the state of Ohio with civil protection orders, your local law enforcement agency is supposed to be seizing those weapons, or there's to be arrangements made for those not to be in that individual's possession. I'm not going to go after the judge because I think the judge realizes that, well, obviously there's been a serious mistake made. He indicated that in an article here the other day. But 60 guns? $60. Absolutely insane. There was a service held yesterday for Cindy Krantz, the nurse's aide, his former love interest. That was well attended, is my understanding. I'm also seeing in the AP feed this morning that neighbors are rallying around Chief Tesario's wife in supporting her in her time of need. And that is in Etna. You're right. Etna is just a couple minutes away from Kirkersville. But they most definitely they have. It's awesome. It's great to see that those in our communities are backing. That is always the best possible. It always. I'm seeing in the news this morning that Uber Eats is partnering with McDonald's. Yep. McDonald's partners with Uber Eats to offer delivery in Columbus. How much easier can it be for you in the city of Columbus? Really? That's awesome. Man. I don't know. I had contact with a young lady at the McDonald's the other day at Tuttle Crossing, the one across the street, the freestanding one. And I was told her bad attitude is because she's a minor and they have a hard time controlling the kids. And I just was blown away. Of course, the drive-thru is not fast food. And I burn about 15 minutes of my lunch. 5 of it getting up to pay for it, and then 10 sitting there waiting for them to make 2 double cheeseburgers. Yeah, I like cheeseburgers. It's okay. It's typical. It's good to be able to go ahead and like cheeseburgers. Other news: Franklin County Sheriff's Office is conducting checks on sex offenders living in Franklin County. Franklin County has over 1,700 registered sex offenders. And I'm not telling you how many people are in their team. That's not part of me. I hate when these local news outlets do this stuff. That you're compromising our. Do not like it at all whatsoever. No, they're not going to send SWAT with a stack of 6 guys to go check the door. Not really. But really, seriously, news outlets, you saw how many people were in the team? No. Fortunately, Zach Snow has this part of the operation together, and we can go ahead and we can keep it straight there and keep that rolling. So it's definitely another thing altogether. I'm still blown away that 60-plus weapons were seized from the home of the man cold blood murdered the former Kirkersville police chief, his former girlfriend, and a nurse. I cannot comprehend. No one can give me any kind of mentally. I don't see it. I don't understand it. Why wasn't this verified where the weapons were at? This is a missing link. This is a missing link that has to be fixed. Under a civil protection order in the state of Ohio, you're not allowed to have access to weapons, period. But yet this happened and it cost the life of a police chief, his girlfriend, and another innocent person. Absolutely unbelievable. So the memorial service at the Vineland, at the Vineyard Christian Church in Pataskla, that happened last night. And Cindy Krantz was a mother of 5. Pray for these folks. Hard times. Hard times all the way around. It's incredibly saddening to see these things taking place within our communities. It is really, really hard to watch. Anyone that knows anything about Soundgarden, Chris Cornell has passed at the age of 52. So if you were going to Rock on the Range this weekend and expected to see him, Chris Cornell has left the building and will not be making an appearance this weekend. Not making fun of it, not making light of it, and just letting you know that this has happened. Keep your car keys close. Please keep your car keys close. Right now, Columbus police are reporting a real uptick in keyless ignition vehicle keys being stolen. Just don't. Be careful, guys. I guess according to the one guy, let me see here real quick. I guess he ran to a gas station on Sancus Boulevard because he has keyless ignition, put the keys in his pockets, left it running. Yep. Thief took off with his car. Why does anyone leave their car running? The weather's not that bad. Nice out this morning. It's going to be a little bit humid. But really, seriously? Absolutely insane. So, we got 2 minutes until Ron Daigle calls in. Okay, hopefully I did not lose. Okay. I think we're back. Sorry, guys. We had a moment here. Make sure everything comes back up. Okay, we're back. Sorry, had a moment there. It one of those technical moments. It just happened. But I'm going to play something for you. I found this really interesting. Left-wing icon Noam Chomsky, an MIT professor, author, philosopher, and he was a frequent debate opponent of the late, great conservative William F. Buckley Jr. He said that the news stories about the Trump presidential campaign somehow colluding with Russia is a joke. I have a video queued up, and I want you to listen to this. And before I play this is what I'm going to tell the GOP. If you don't support the president, you are going to get burnt. Just as we warned you during the primary cycle that failure to support him would cause a problem, this is what's going to be happening to you in 2018. And no, we will not allow the Democrats to win. So here's Noam, and here's what he has to say about the situation with Mr. Trump right now, with allegedly colluding with Russia.
No, Chomsky, I'd like to ask you about something that's been in the news a lot lately. Obviously, all the cable channels, that's all they talk about these days, is the whole situation of Russia's supposed intervention in American elections for a country that's intervened in so many governments and so many elections around the world. That's kind of a strange topic, but I know you've referred to this as a joke. Could you give us your view on what's happening and why there's so much emphasis on this particular issue?
Very remarkable fact that, first of all, it is a joke. Half of the world is cracking up in laughter. The United States doesn't just interfere in elections. It overthrows governments it doesn't like, institutes military dictatorships. Simply in the case of Russia alone, it's the least of it. The U.S. government under Clinton intervened quite blatantly and openly. They didn't try to conceal it to get their man Yeltsin in all sorts of ways. So this, as I say, it's turning the United States again into a laughingstock in the world. But why are the Democrats focusing on this? In fact, why are they focusing so much attention on the one element of Trump's programs, which is fairly reasonable, the one ray of light in this gloom, trying to reduce tensions with Russia? The tensions on the Russian border are extremely serious. They could escalate to a major terminal war. Efforts to try to reduce them should be welcomed. Just a couple of days ago, the former U.S. ambassador to Russia, Jack Matlock, came out and said he just can't believe that so much attention is being paid to apparent efforts by the incoming administration to establish connections with Russia. I said, sure, that's just what they ought to be doing. So meanwhile, this one topic is the primary locus of concern and critique, while meanwhile the policies are proceeding step by step, which are extremely destructive and harmful. So, maybe the Russians tried to interfere in the election. It's not a major issue. Maybe the people on the Trump campaign were talking to the Russians. Well, okay, not a major point. Certainly less than is being done constantly. And it is a kind of a paradox, I think, that the one issue that seems to inflame the Democratic opposition is the one thing that has some justification and reasonable aspects to it.
Well, of course, because the Democrats feel that that's the reason somehow that they lost the election. Interesting that James Comey this week said he is investigating Trump campaign collusion with Russia, when it was Comey himself who could have might well have been partly responsible for Hillary Clinton's defeat when he said that he was investigating her, while we now have learned at the same time he was investigating Donald Trump, but never actually said that.
Well, you can understand why the Democratic Party managers want to try to find some blame for the fact, for the way they utterly mishandled the election and blew a perfect opportunity to win, handed it over to the opposition.
There it is. Much to do about nothing. Chomsky has no reason to side with Mr. Trump. You get the message of peace in that? I did. Yes, we need peace. Yes. Cooperation, getting along is important. Because it's important in any aspect of our lives. But the governments have to be an example of that for people to see that. If you ask me, Democrats seem to want a war more than they want peace. They obviously want a president because, well, it just continues to be the same old, time and time again. Why is this continuing to be? Why is it that all the sides are flipping? I mean, we already see the globalists are stacking up against Mr. Trump very easily. They don't want any peace. They want the conflict, and they want the war. Now, yesterday, you heard me speak of a situation where President of Turkey, Erdogan's bodyguards attacked protesters here in the U.S. How this is acceptable is beyond me. I understand that I'm not always the most brilliant person in the world. But when I watch this video, these guys think they're at home in Turkey. Turkey's the same country who won't accept responsibility for Armenian genocide. They won't. You know, Pakistan and India, they don't like to talk about the Hindus that they slaughter. Absolutely. No conversation about it. Why is there no conversation? Question. Why not? Why isn't there? Now, the one thing that I've been meaning to touch on this, really honestly, guys, has gotten shuffled back here on the stack. You know, the Democrats are being sued in federal court. They are. And it's really kind of, and it's very fitting. This at the same time, while Susan Rice is in an immunity deal, testify. Why does Susan need why does she need an immunity deal? Is there something wrong with facing the music? Is there a big problem? There is a problem because not only is Susan Rice culpable for these things, these unmaskings. We're finding out that it was made a lot easier for her within the DNI from Clapper. They had a computer program. They didn't even have to go get a warrant. They didn't even have to go get permission to unmask these people. They just did it. Why? Because so much for, free and fair democratic process, over a constitutional republic, first and foremost. Open free elections, I'm all for that. I'm not for spying on our citizens. At least the ones that are conducting political campaigns. And remember, the Trump administration, those folks, of the meetings that they had, these were all meetings either set up by the UN or by the Obama administration. Really seriously, why isn't this an issue? Why? So now I want to get back to the class action lawsuit that's been levied at the DNC. And that they have confessed in court that the People's Republic of Korea is more democratic than them. So donors and voters have issued a class action lawsuit in the U.S. District Court for Southern Florida, making accusations that the DNC and ex-chairperson Deborah Wasserman Schwartz, Wasserman Schultz, I have to take a shower after this broadcast. Makes my skin crawl. But they side it with Hillary. So this lawsuit was brought by residents from 45 states. 3 plaintiffs, and these include DNC sponsors, Bernie Sanders campaign sponsors, and many registered Democrats. Allegations in the suit are that Wasserman Schwartz, Schultz, and the DNC engaged in intentional, willful, wanton, and malicious execution that broke charter bylaws of the DNC. This is inappropriate. I had started to touch on this the other day, got away from it, but they went ahead and they stated the other day that there's no, according to the DNC attorney Bruce Spiva in court, there's no contractual obligation to keep their word. Yep. No contractual obligation. Keep it fair. He moved on to clarify that registered Democrats should not expect a fair election process. And there's nothing from preventing the Democrats from choosing their nominee in a behind-the-curtain negotiation without voter input. Of course, the lamestream Marxist media are crickets when it comes to this. And this is real. This is not part of a fantasy scheme or something that, Dano just decided to sit down and type up. This is going on. This is serious. Something else that's serious I'm going to take a minute and touch on is that certain Yale dean who, Yale, the diverse school, the school that, values everyone. Well, that is as long as you're not white. Well, she went ahead and she had gone out and she was making some of her Yelp remarks. And now that she's been caught with insensitive remarks, all of a sudden she's sorry. You're not. trying to find her name. Idiot. June Chu, CHU. Dean of Yale's Pearson College. Offered an apology for offending reviews that have been circulated among the students for several months. The Yale Daily News has been circulating some of these screenshots. They happen to be on Saturday. One of them is one of those that she left. Quite honestly, was she left this. I mean, she left it on the internet. I've got to be true, right? But we see the screenshots. It says, to put it quite simply, if you're white trash, that's perfect night out for you. This is a review that she wrote of a Japanese restaurant. The establishment is definitely not authentic by any stretch of the imagination. Perfect for those low-class folks who believe this is a real night out. Oversalted, greasy food. Side note, employees are Chinese, not Japanese. She also stated, remember, I'm Asian. I know mocha. These are not good and overpriced. They are ice cream mocha, but which are small in size and become easily freezer burn if not stored well. I guess if you're a white person who has no clue what mocha is, this would be fine for you. She called employees at trying to manage snack orders. Trying to manage orders at a movie theater. Called the employees there barely educated morons trying to manage snack orders for the obese while trying to do simple math. Unfortunately, it's this or the Hanover Nugget, but heaven forbid the Nugget get movies which pander to the masses. He wrote, when you've got no choice, like a fool, I remain in line with the other idiots. Also, this is one that I kind of like. Be kind my ass. I pay for my ticket and customer service. Decent. I'm not asking for stellar. I'm asking for a bare minimum of competence. Naturally, she got caught. She deleted everything. She's allegedly trained in human development and psychology. Is it that she doesn't understand the results of her actions? Is that she clearly doesn't care. This is the hypocrisy of the left. Clear cut. Can't get any more better than that. When we come back, we're going to touch on the Tulsa, Oklahoma officer who shot the unarmed man and why she was found not guilty. We're going to go ahead, take a be right back here on the Piano Show at NewsTalk614.com. We're going to go ahead and let this come up.